Hyperion, you copy? What have I gotten myself into this time?
Hail, hero. I am Uther the Lightbringer, and you have been chosen by the Nexus.
Nexus? So this is some kind of a Protoss thing?
What? No, it's... Look. The Nexus is a cosmic storm where worlds collide from across time, space, and even dimension. You have been summoned here to be tested in the forge of combat and to achieve great glory.
Glory, huh? You know, you had me.
This Stormgate will bring us to Raven Court, one of the many realms of the Nexus. Right-click to move there.
Okay, so I thought I'd let that play so we could see if there's any differences in the opening cinematic or tutorial. Some slight differences. I noticed that Raynor got cut off there a bit when he was talking at the end of that video. So it looks like no matter what I choose, I am going to get a tutorial. And it looks like it starts the camera off in follow mode, so there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this real quick before we talk a bit more about the game. We'll see what happens here with a tutorial. It'll probably give us a match or something like that.
An enemy minion already? We just got here! Bah! Press the A key, then left-click it to attack.
I'm actually surprised they tell you to do A key and left-click when you can simply just right-click minions, but, well, there is that.
Let's press forward. The minions ahead can be seen here on your minimap.
Yeah, some minor variations. Uther is not helping me here, of course.
Did some kind of glowy orb just bust out of that thing?
A regeneration globe. Move to it and it will regenerate health and mana for both you and nearby allies. You can press the A key and left-click the ground to move towards a location and attack enemies you encounter along the way.
You plan on lending a hand here, Uther?
I've already completed my tutorial, lad. You've got to do your own. Besides, I think you can handle a few minions.
Now, the big thing I want to look at here is the talent system will be explained a little bit here. I want to see how they explain it to new players.
Nicely done. Looks like we've made it to town.
You want to clue me in on what's going on here?
This realm is known as Raven Court, and it appears to be under siege by the demon lord Diablo.
Diablo?
You dare stand against the Lord of Terror? I wonder, how tastes your fear, mortal?
I wouldn't know. I'm not even sure you can actually taste fear.
You will be devoured.
Well, he doesn't make the best first impression, does he? Think I better teach him some manners.
If you're going to take on Diablo, you'll need to make the most of your abilities. First, try out your penetrating round against Diablo's undead soldiers. Press the Q key, then aim your targeting arrow over the skeletons. Once you're ready, left-click. That's it! Using your abilities will deal more damage than your basic weapon attacks. Nice shot, lad! Remember, you can use penetrating round to kill groups of minions all at once.
There's too many skeletons ahead. We've got to retreat!
Well, this ain't good. These boys are losing the will to fight.
Feels like I can take on the world! Charge!
Don't get cocky, kid.
Alright, so not too much seems to have changed here, but I'm going to leave this here for the sake of completeness. But I will, of course, provide a link in the very beginning to get past all of this wonderful tutorial stuff for those who wish to.
Use it whenever you can.
I just like leaving a lot of this stuff here for those people that haven't seen the game yet or haven't been able to get into the game. So if you're interested in exactly how it plays, you can kind of see all the controls in the corner.
Bravery will not save you. Your petty lives end here.
Our footmen are engaging Diablo up ahead. Unlock your camera and take a look. That's it. Now scroll.
Burn in hellfire!
He's injured. Now's your time to strike.
Oh, it won't let me click until
You can return to a locked camera by pressing the L key once more.
This realm and all the misbegotten souls within it are mine.
Not on my watch.
Seem to be sticklers for locking things out to you in this game. I've mentioned before my hatred for the lockouts for the levels.
Your soul across eternity, James Raynor.
Well done, lad. But this is not over yet. Use your Hearthstone to join me.
I don't remember them mentioning the Hearthstone before, so okay. At least they tell you how to do it now.
Ain't this fancy?
This is the Hall of Storms. Heroes are summoned here when a battle begins. Our goal is to destroy the enemy's core while protecting our own from their attacks. Both cores summon minions which travel down this pathway and fight each other in countless waves of combat.
Gotcha. Take out Diablo's core and this fight's over. Sounds easy enough. But tell me, why are we doing this again?
You know, you really shouldn't think so hard about these things.
This should be good.
First, head out to the front line.
Stitches want to play.
Not very wise, that one. Attacking a fort by yourself is practically suicide. Our minions will help you press towards the enemy core. Stay behind them and let them soak up damage. Enemy towers are quite deadly, but they'll always attack minions before firing on a hero. Only assault a tower when our minions are nearby. Well done, lad. You have proven yourself worthy.
What can I say? I got a talent for making things explode.
Minions and stone are no challenge. Now I will feast upon your terror!
Oh yeah? Well, now just wait a minute. Feast upon my terror? Now that's twice, man. Now let me school you. You cannot eat fear or terror. They are what we call emotions.
Mm-hmm. He right. No taste terror.
You see? Stinky here gets it.
Enough!
Wait a minute. Didn't I just die?
Don't worry. Within the Nexus, death is merely a setback. After a short break, you'll be revived and ready to fight. I hope you don't mind if I join you this time. That should even the scales a bit.
Not at all. Let's giddy up, partner. Let's make it count. Raiders.
Mount up and let's head back into the fight. You can dismount by pressing the mount button again.
You can count on me.
Stay behind our minions and let them soak up damage.
Whatever's clever.
That's it! All that remains is the enemy's core.
Sounds like a plan. Hey, you got anything more to say, Fire Breath?
I will have my vengeance, James Raynor. This is not over.
Well, this ain't a fair fight.
You shall not stand alone.
Well, look what the Nexus dragged in. Fancy seeing you here, cowboy.
Nova? Now this place is starting to feel like home.
Don't get comfortable. You're in for a bumpy ride.
Only kind I ever liked. Now, come on, Red. Let's see what you got. I'm ready for round 2.
Well done, hero. You are worthy of the trials of the Nexus. Next, we will focus on leveling up, using healing fountains and mercenaries. Shall we begin?
Alright, so not too much different, but I'm keeping it for the sake of completeness. I'll also go through the rest of the tutorials here, moving forward. So what I'll do is I'll record what I think I'll go ahead and do, and you'll probably see this now, since it's, by the time you see this, I'll have made my decision, is split them up into different videos rather than keep this as part of my What's Different in Heroes of the Storm video. So what I can show off, at least right now, is getting back in. We can see that everything has been reset. My levels have been completely reset. I have Reaper of Souls gifts, apparently, for my pre-order. Let's kind of see what this is. Yes, so for purchasing Reaper of Souls and pre-ordering it, I get Vala for free. Now, she wasn't one of the most expensive heroes, but it is nice to see that I get that. Also, did I get anything else? No. Apparently it just repeated itself. Okay, cool. I got Vala, though. So it's nice that I at least get one hero that is mine specifically for free. Alright, so I'm not going to skip this. I am going to go ahead and play through it, and we'll put this as part of the tutorial video, and I'll split the rest off as part of the What's Different video.
I hope you're ready, Raynor. This is as real as it gets. Remember, if you're injured, you can return here to our Hall of Storms, and your wounds will heal automatically over time. As before, our goal is to fight the enemy team and destroy their core.
Now, the way I see it, there are 3 lanes to the enemy's base. We better make sure someone's covering each one.
Now you've got it, lad. Once the battle starts, follow me and get ready to fight.
You can count on me.
Interesting that as part of this tutorial they put you with Uther in the middle lane, since typically a lot of these games have you put one person in the middle and 2 people on each of the side lanes.
Raynor, I could use your assistance in this lane.
Especially since the other lanes are typically the longer lanes, so they are usually takes longer for people to get to them. And that's typically how that strategy ends up working. It's perfectly understandable. A lot of MOBA games kind of default to that, what you call meta gameplay. So I'm not sure why they do it this way. They probably should have put Uther maybe on the top or the bottom to kind of simulate that effect, so you've got one person in the middle. But they probably have you in the middle as part of this tutorial in order to make it so you don't have as far to go as you're pushing forward, because it's very, very hard to lose this.
Kill enemy minions, heroes, or structures, our team gains experience. The experience and current level of both teams is shown here. Once the blue bar fills entirely, our team levels up, and we each grow stronger.
Let's go get us a level then. Raiders roll.
So this will be very specific about leveling up and using health fountains. I have to say, Blizzard's always been very good about teaching you how to play their games. They didn't always used to be this good. I remember World of Warcraft going through a very long period of time where they were worried about that.
We've leveled up. Your stats have increased, and your abilities have become stronger.
It's all good.
But ever since that initial period where they're like, you know, we realize that we're having a hard time at, getting retention of players, they started really focusing on tutorials and getting people all the information they needed on screen. Now, sometimes I feel they go a little overboard on that. For example, in Diablo 3, people have been asking for a long time, getting many things on the screen to be able to track buffs, debuffs, and things like that. And Blizzard doesn't want to do it because they feel it clutters things too much. But a lot of people have said, well, why not make it an option? And Blizzard doesn't exactly acquiesce to that, but they have been a lot better about giving us things, feedback on the screen as we've requested, as they felt like they could afford the real estate space. But for the most part, they are really good about giving players information. I mean, even recently, the whole status screen, which I can't pull up right now because I'm in tutorial, has been added to the game where you can actually see what your stats are, your regeneration rate, and things like that. You just push a button and you unlock the more detailed screen on that. I think it's nice that they broke this tutorial up. Like, that first tutorial you have to go through because it teaches you the absolute basics. But if you're going to ask me, am I new, do I know the basics and things like that, you should probably tell me, or probably let me skip past your tutorial if I don't need that tutorial anymore. That just seems like the best thing to do.
It's dangerous to attack a tower without our minions.
And it's nice to see that there are voice cues that let you know when you've kind of screwed up. Like there, I attacked a little too quickly and moved into the tower before the minions were nearby. So new players will always get a little bit of voice prompting to let them know exactly what's going on, what they're doing right or wrong while they're in the middle of this play. Now, granted, they do probably make this a little bit too easy, as
We could use your help over here. We're going to encourage a few of these siege giants to join our side.
Okay, excellent.
Whatever's...
As I've seen some videos online through Reddit, people intentionally trying to fail this tutorial, and apparently it is very difficult to do so because the AI is very specific about retreating or not killing you when you're getting low on life.
Stand within that beacon for a moment, would you?
I understand the
There
point
we
of
are.
tutorials,
Once
but
a mercenary camp is defeated, they'll join us in battle, attacking down the nearest lane.
All right, I say we escort these siege critters to the enemy's fort and bust that dang thing apart. This should be good.
Raynor, use your Inspire ability to strengthen our attacks.
yeah, this tutorial's gotten a little bit
Giants
better.
are quite effective at destroying forts at long range.
A penetrating round would kill this group of enemies mighty quick.
But overall, it's nice to see some of the changes that have happened over the course of this tutorial. Like, I've done it 2 or 3 times. You can always go back and do it again, if you need to. But again, as I mentioned before, I'm glad they split it up, because it used to be you had to do it all before you went into the game. Like, you had to do this tutorial as well as the one that taught you how to do movement every time that you started up. But I mean, granted, you only have to do it once, right? Because once you've done the tutorial once, you're done. But you never had the option to skip it.
You've unlocked your heroic ability, an incredibly powerful skill that turns the tide of battle. Just be careful when you use it. Right-clicking cancels an ability. Use left-click to summon the Hyperion.
But never giving a player the ability to skip something if they already know it is kind of a terrible idea. Like, having to go through all these tutorials if you were to create a new count does kind of suck if you're already someone that knows all the basics. That's why I'm thinking, like, if you chose veteran or expert status, they would at least make it so that you didn't have to do even that first tutorial. But the second tutorial, at least, you have the option. It's like, we're going to go talk about leveling and talk about how to use fountains. And then at least it gave me the option to skip it and just go right into the game, which is very cool. I'm glad they did that. Now, apparently, I didn't have to go and learn about fountains because I haven't lost enough health, but maybe it'll prompt me here in a second. Nope. So I kind of skipped that part of the tutorial. I'm surprised it didn't tell me about it regardless.
Victory.
Impressive work, hero. I think you're ready to learn about using talents to customize your hero's abilities. What do you say?
Okay, so this one's a new one that wasn't in there before, so I'll go ahead and we'll do this one. So this should be completely new, a piece of training that we haven't seen before. I did notice that they haven't put in the animation for Uther talking about it yet, as he just stood there. But let's go ahead and do this. And we can see that, yeah, they haven't really put in a lot of the polish yet, so it just says training mode rather than some kind of other kind of quote or whatever. So we'll see how this works out and what they've done for the talent training.
Choose a talent.
Your hero's talents allow you to customize your abilities and improve their power. Try opening the talent panel now. The default hotkey, you can choose between these talents. Hover your mouse over a talent to learn more about it. An excellent choice. Every few levels you can select another talent, upgrading your hero and changing the way they fight on the field of battle.
Heroes, prepare for combat.
You can count on me.
Alright, we'll see how the rest of this goes, because that seems very specific. I mean, this seems like something they could have put into the last video, or the last training session, because that was pretty simplistic, but it'll probably tell me more as I level up. And that's kind of what I'm interested to see, how this tutorial exactly works.
In 10 seconds.
Now, what I'm really interested to know is, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to do what I said before. We're going to put one person in the middle. We'll do this. What I'm really interested in is, since this is pretty much just a practice session, will it give me experience for Raynor from completing it? That would be kind of nice, because this is, technically, when you look at it, is a full match. The entire map is unlocked, all my abilities are unlocked, and now I'm learning about talents. And apparently, I can't move the screen. Interesting. Oh, okay, that's new. Alright, so because this is a tutorial mode, anytime I go into my talent screen, it pauses the game. If I hit control, yep, even if I hit the hotkey, it pauses the game. So
This should be good.
that's good for someone learning, I would say, because then it gives you time to look at everything.
Heroes hiding in bushes are invisible to enemies outside. Heroes become visible if they leave, or if an enemy enters the bush they're hiding in.
Okay, so they give you a little tutorial about the bushes and things like that. Alright, so that's little bits of information that have been missing from previous tutorials on exactly how these mechanics work.
Teams gain experience by killing enemy heroes, minions, and structures. Heroes must be close to where the enemy dies to gain experience.
All day long. My condolences.
That was rather entertaining.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use the fountain, even though it hasn't told me about it yet.
Time to
I completely missed that part, right? Because I skipped right over it because I was doing too well.
Health is low. Use your Hearthstone to teleport back to base, and you will heal there over time. The default hotkey for Hearthstone is B.
So I'm glad to see that this tutorial actually has more than just the whole talents in it, right? So I'm actually learning more and more about the tiny mechanics that this game has by playing it. I've learned about the bushes and things like that. So Blizzard's done a pretty good job about doing that and teaching you a bit more. Now, this talent gating thing is still something I'm not quite happy with, but I am technically on a new account right now, level 1 or level 0, whichever they decide to use for your starting. So it makes sense to have them locked out. I can kind of understand that because they're a new player. You don't want to be inundated with too many options that may confuse you and may make you make a bad build. So as long as they have good options in the first 2 tiers, I can kind of understand that. The downside here, though, is that they've done this through character gating, and until I get back in the game, I can't see if that's been removed. I'm pretty sure it has not, as I haven't seen any notes on it. I understand gating talents when it comes to your level as far as your account level. You haven't played that many matches. Okay, here, we're going to gate a few things so that you don't have them right away. And then later, you can unlock them. But to do that for each character just doesn't seem right, especially since you're already slowing things down for me enough for me to get the idea of what these things do. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and get focused.
Sounds like
Alright, well let's see if we learn anything else by playing the rest of this tutorial. I wonder if the Dragon Shrines will unlock. It doesn't look like they will. It looks like this is going to be a pure tutorial with no objectives at all. Oh, hello Diablo. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much different now. Okay, Tyrael wait. Okay, that's interesting. So Tyrael decided to wait until someone else came to assist him. I feel like the AI is intentionally kind of slowing things down just because it's a tutorial stage. So there probably will not be any experience given for this match just because the AI has probably been scaled down normally, or compared to what they normally do. Alright, give me heavy ammo for structures.
Wonder if Swan can make me one of those.
Your health is low. Use your Hearthstone to teleport back to base, and you will heal there over time. The default hotkey for Hearthstone is B.
Break, kid. Raiders roll.
Towers and forts require ammunition to attack. If they run out of ammo, they cannot fire until their ammo regenerates.
This should be good. Raiders roll.
Alright, so looking at the map, it looks like the entire allied team has decided to push on the south now that they've got a minion camp. In order to end this quickly, I think helping them out is going to be the best thing I can do right now. Oh dear. I half wonder if it's a good idea that they do that. Because for new players to see this, right, if basically a mercenary camp is taken and you constantly move with that mercenary camp, and it makes sense, right, you typically want to move with a strong push as a group, but usually one mercenary camp is not always the best time to do that. On one hand, I like the fact that it teaches you that yes, if you get a mercenary camp, you should probably push with it because your lane has just become a lot more stronger. On the other hand, it almost makes you want to ignore the rest of the lanes and what's going on. So like if the enemy starts pushing strong on another lane, you might not notice that if you're focusing all your attention on this one lane because you're pushing it as a group. Alright, let's just go ahead and do the Hyperion.
Improve your hero's abilities. Choose your talents as soon as they are unlocked.
Double kill.
Oh, interesting. Okay, right. The default key for the panel is in, which brings it up and leaves it there, as opposed to control, which is on a push and hold hotkey. So control is usually if you're going to quickly move for your skills. So if I hold control and hit 1, I could have unlocked Hyperion, basically in the order that they're presented. So if I held control at level 20 and hit 1, 2, 3, or 4, I would get ability number 1, 2, 3, or 4. They don't exactly explain that, but I can kind of understand why they don't. That's kind of an advanced technique. Usually doing things like that using hotkeys.
Your mana is low. Drink from a healing.
Usually that's something that more dedicated players will learn over time on their own, and I can kind of see why that's not something they're going to talk about in an intro tutorial. Just because, really, to introduce that kind of concept to newer players can really maybe make them focus too much on that. And it's something you want them to learn on their own, or to, you know, to try and get out there and learn as they want to get better. Oh man.
Your health is low.
I'm just gonna keep ignoring him.
To teleport back to base. You will heal there over time. The default hotkey for Hearthstone is B.
Double kill.
I wonder if they'll kill me. I really do. If they were smart, they would focus on me and kill me because I am so low on health compared to my allies. Well, not anymore.
That was rather entertaining.
All day long. Headshot.
Hero of the storm.
That Stitches actually missed.
This should be good.
You know the AI is intentionally holding itself back when it misses you with an ability like that hook. When you're right there and not even moving.
My condolences. Raiders roll.
And what's interesting is that the AI really hasn't returned to a standard they haven't returned to the standard lane setup. They're all kind of coming down here because I'm down here, I think. Oh, they did push another mercenary camp in, though, so that's kind of nice to see.
Quadruple kill.
Uh-oh.
Quintuple kill. Enemy team dominated.
Can I die in the tutorial? Can I? If I stayed there in the line, I definitely would have. That's for sure.
Your health is low. Use your Hearthstone to teleport back to base. And you will
Let's see what
heal
happens.
there.
There we go. Diablo got the key. The kill.
For Hearthstone is B. You have died, but don't worry. You will revive back at your base shortly.
So they have a hint thing for you that tells you what happens when you die, but as we've seen, it's not exactly easy to die. I wasn't exactly playing smart there. I wasn't exactly playing terribly stupid either. I could have stayed in the tower's range and let it kill me.
You just never get used to that.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's going down here.
Press the space bar to return the camera to your hero at any time.
Well, let's get this tutorial match over with, and let's see if there's any others. I think that's the last of them. Ah, good. The team decided to get that cleared for me.
Victory.
Each battleground is controlled by a powerful realm lord who pits heroes against each other in legendary events. Click the play button and try a practice match to learn more.
Okay, with that we're done with the tutorial and we can finally get to the main screen. And as you see, yep, level 1, no gold. I got no experience from that, so as I thought, because it was still toned down to a tutorial level, they didn't give you anything for Raynor at that point in time. Now, one thing I would like to know is if Jimmy Boy is part of the rotation, because they were experimenting with that. Okay, he is at the moment, but I don't know if that just makes him part of the current rotation or not. I haven't looked at the notes to see who the current rotation is. I do believe that Raynor is no longer 100% guaranteed a hero, but we'll have to see. I know they wanted to experiment with that because they figure you're doing the tutorial with Raynor, you might as well have the option to play with him because he's a character that you know. So there is that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the major tutorial stuff. I think I'm going to go ahead and split that off and make it its own video. For anyone that cares about the tutorial and wants to see it, you have that.